thinking of people who claim to have degrees and not necessarily do. Let's talk a little bit about Dr. Umar Johnson.
I beg your pardon?
And your essay that you wrote.
Okay, so do you believe he has 6 degrees?
I love that joke. I'm sorry. I love it.
So do you think that he has 6 degrees? 6 degrees?
I think he has 6 degrees
Okay.
of separation from the truth.
Love it. I love
I
it.
think he has 6 degrees antiperspirant deodorant. Yeah,
Jesus.
he has 6 degrees.
Wow. Okay.
Whether he has 6 degrees or not is irrelevant to me.
Okay.
When I wrote my piece on Umar Johnson, it didn't matter to me whether he had this amount of degrees or not, whether he was well educated or not. I mean, apparently he does have degrees. That was never a problem or issue with me. When I look back on that, I wrote that piece in 2020. I have to be honest, I don't think I've ever talked about Umar in an interview in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow. You feel lucky.
Because there's been no reason to talk about him.
Yeah.
I have to be brutally honest. I don't know why I wrote that piece.
Okay.
I mean, I know why. I know basically how it came about. My gut, my instinct was telling me when I found out about this guy that it was a good story. And I know a good story having been a freelance journalist and being a freelance writer. I pitched enough to publications. You have to know what a good story is. And I knew this was a good story.
How did you find out about him?
What was telling me to write this? And that's the reason I did it. There was no reason for me to write it. Umar was not a household name at that point.
Yeah.
That's what people have to understand. Nobody was talking about him that I was aware of. Nobody was writing about him, certainly. I don't think anybody, I mean, there were some critics of his. I could cite 2 of them, at least. One was a guy called Keyboard Musician. I don't know where he is now. And another, of course, is Lennon Honor.
Yes.
Lennon Honor, I know this will be controversial among a number of people, but you have to give credit to Lennon Honor. Lennon Honor went after Umar. He continued to try to expose him as much as possible.
Yeah, he's been doing the work.
You gotta hand it to him. He didn't really shy away from calling him out. So you have to kind of give him credit. So that whether people like him or not, you gotta give Lennon Honor credit.
Yeah.
Certainly, I just wrote one piece. I really wasn't interested in Umar personally. But I knew it was a good story. When I came across this guy, it just, something there when, I'm gonna write this. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I have to be brutally honest. Again, I didn't think anything would come of that piece. And in many respects, nothing did come of it. I mean, a number of people read it, but nobody cared. Nobody really cared, because in that piece, as you had mentioned earlier, I came out and stated point blank, Umar Johnson is a con artist engaged in a long con. Yeah. Now, I said that in July 2020, I believe, when that piece came out. And now that it's August of 2025, nothing has changed.
So why do you
Still so, Umar Johnson is a con artist involved in a long con.
why do you
Nothing has
think
changed.
why do you think he's so successful in the Black community?
Oh, that's a good question. I think there are better people to answer that question. I don't even know that. I can't answer that question.
Okay.
What I did with my piece was identify what he was. His appeal, I've never understood.
Yeah.
I don't understand his appeal at all. Because I look at that guy and from day one that I found out about him, I look at this guy and I say, this man's a joke.
So how did you find out about him?
YouTube.
Okay. And
That's it. But he is a phenomenon of YouTube.
he is.
He's the gift that keeps on giving on YouTube. And all these Johnny-come-latelys and content creators are finding out now.
Yeah.
He is gangbusters on YouTube.
Yeah.
I bet they're doing very well on their views and clicks and all of that.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Because Umar is the gift that keeps on giving.
He really is.
He's the goose that holds the golden egg.
Yeah.
And whatever other cliche you want to insert.
So now, do you think the school will ever open? I'm sorry. Jesus. I'm sorry.
Is an episode of Unsolved Mystery.
Yes.
That is.
To be continued.
Yes.
Be an episode of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix.
Yes.
The FDMG Academy.
Yeah.
Will it ever open?
But did you hear like he's about to lose it because the city of Wilmington is auctioning his school?
My understanding is that there's a lien.
Yes.
I know very little. I've only, I saw a couple of videos today even about it. If they put a lien on it and they're looking to seize the property for unpaid either taxes or unpaid fees, yeah, the property will probably be seized by either the city, I think by the city, and whatever happened to it will happen to it. My piece didn't concern myself with, I mentioned the school in a small paragraph in my piece,
Right.
but I never cared about the school. The school was irrelevant to me. The school to me is like the McGuffin. In Hitchcock's film, the term. The McGuffin, of course, is the object that the characters go after, or the characters want. So, to me, the school is kind of like, rhetorically, is like the McGuffin
Yeah.
on YouTube
Yeah.
for people in terms of discussing Umar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need an object like that in order to run your con.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like you have to have that goal to run a long con like that.
But in his piece, he was saying Umar's doing the long con.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Well, when I wrote that article in 2020, you have to understand, he was a con artist, irregardless of whether he was going to open a school or try to get a school open or not. That was my assessment. It had nothing to do with the school. It had to do with him. Because in my piece, what I note about Umar is that Umar is not only a con artist, he's a performer. And essentially what Umar has done is extract bits and pieces from other African-American intellectuals and others. Very clearly, he stole from a guy called Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu, who I believe was a psychologist. His videos will still be out there on YouTube. If you watch his videos, the early videos that Umar did, Juwanza Kunjufu, I hope I got his name correct, he would have like a pad and it would be almost like it would be a group of people that he would go and talk about, write various things down, whatever he discussed, whether it's black students or other aspects. So Dr. Juwanza Kunjufu clearly was the avatar for Umar. He was the avatar for Umar, right? I'll just use that. He was basically I'd say the avatar. I believe Umar also basically extracted aspects from Dr. Amos N. Wilson, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Khalid Muhammad, and a guy called Brother Steve Cohen. I think in many respects, the two biggest influences, and Umar will never admit this because he doesn't want to admit anything, the two biggest influences are, I believe, Brother Steve Coakley and Dr. Juanza Kunjufu. Those are the two people I believe that he's really taken the most from. That's what I believe.
So why do you think he will never admit it?
Because he's afraid of that.
And he should be.
Yeah.
And he should be. I mean, he's taken so much money from people who,
Well,
yeah,
right. Well, you know that Umar is extremely egocentric.
yes.
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 I mean, this is a guy who is supposedly, well, he is a psychologist, but he goes around calling himself by grandiloquent, self-created titles. I'm no expert on therapists or psychologists or psychiatrists, but the few that I've seen on TV or interviewed or whatever do not carry themselves that way professionally.
No.
They do not.
So, you know, Umar is now the most requested beggar.
For my loyal supporters, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifatunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal.
That's true.
He is the prince of flim flam, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
You know. So when it comes to what's happening now with Umar, it used to be that the con was on, and if they take away the FDNG property, the con will be gone.
Yes.
That's what's facing Umar right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the jig is up with him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the fact that they froze his bank accounts tells me that, I mean, legally speaking, he's definitely being investigated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion, of course, but that's usually the first step, is that they freeze your accounts.
And the next step is
yeah.
you cannot travel.
Right, yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah.
Because,
Well,
go ahead. Sorry.
go ahead.
No, go on.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't be surprised. Now, he says that his bank accounts are frozen. But are they really frozen?
That's true.
Is he saying that, I believe, even if they are frozen, he does this as a prelude. See, it's very clear, like I mentioned, the people that Umar extracted aspects in terms of their persona. I think that Umar is a person that studies. He learns. He adapts to a certain extent. And because he has an education in psychology, he therefore is going to do certain things in order to manipulate people. And one way he'll manipulate people is by priming them for certain reality. So he knew, for example, that not only the city of Wilmington, but other officials had contacted him about the FDNG property. He knew. He could not have been ignorant. He had to have known. But he then, when that's going to come out, what he does is he comes in his car and says, my bank accounts are frozen. I can't do anything financially. I need donations. That puts him in a vulnerable position so that when people find out about the FDNG lien and possible foreclosure, seizure by the city, they will be on his side, psychologically, emotionally, mentally. They will sympathize with him. Oh, he's being targeted by the city. He's being of Wilmington. He's being targeted by the state of Delaware. It's all these enemies he has, all these haters, all these people that are trying to destroy someone who is trying to help you.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Or only help himself.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's going to happen like that because people have been giving him money for almost 20 years. And At this point, we're tired, man. No, listen, you've been taking money for almost 20 years. We have to see some result. If there's no result, how are we supposed to keep giving you money?
Yeah.
At this point, if you give Umar money, you're a fool.
Right. I mean, well, but there's lots of fools out there.
In this economy, they're broke. How are you gonna give? Umar's taking money from poor people.
That is
like
true.
he's seriously,
Yeah.
people who give Umar money
Don't have
have
to
no
give.
business giving people any money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, the old expression is there's a sucker born every minute and two to take him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And apparently, Umar is one of those two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Very true, very true.
Well, and like I said before, Umar is a con artist. It doesn't matter whether he has a school or not, or whether he's going to open a school, or whether he won't open a school. He will continue to con.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you're very right. Yes.
That's the point. That's what everyone has to understand who's watching this, and who's watching all these YouTube channels and all these YouTube panels and all of these discussions of Umar. You have to understand that Umar is a classic con artist.
Right.
He's a long con. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
When was the school announced? I believe with FDMG, it was announced, I believe, in 2010.
Yeah.
It's 2025.
Right. Right. Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
He's been collecting money, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you have the nerve to say you broke?
Right.
Again, here's the difference. I wrote a piece, and I didn't, I wrote my piece, I thought nobody will care about it. I honestly didn't think, and I was right. A number of people have read it since, but nobody cares about it.
Yeah.
Because at the time, nobody knew Umar.
Right.
No one knew him. When I was writing about Umar in that one piece, nowhere else, but in that one piece, no one knew him. Umar was a non-entity, a nothing, a nobody.
Right.
Now, he's a somebody. Everyone in various spaces and places on YouTube is talking about Umar.
Yeah.
And so, what I said back then is the same that I say today. Umar is a con artist involved in a long con.
Yeah.
And he's also a performer, was taken from other African-American intellectuals and professionals.
Yeah.
So he's basically synthetic and pathetic.
Yeah.
But he's a synthesis of all these others, because Umar is studied. I'm convinced. He's studied. And, the bottom line with Umar is that he will not stop.
No, he has to be stopped. He won't stop on his own.
No,
And for
something.
him to be stopped, it might be jail time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, we'll see.
That's true.
I said a long time ago, years ago, I don't know if this is still on, but I'm a bit of a fan of the show American Greed.
Okay.
And I said, Umar would be perfect for an episode of American Greed.
Yeah.
So I said this years ago, and I'll say it now. I don't know if the show's still on the air, but if the producers are on, I got an episode for you, an idea for you. Mark Johnson.
Yeah.
Perfect for the show.
Yeah.
By the way, if you do the show, I'm ready to do an interview. Over 5 years.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here, man. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So before we finish, is there anything you want to tell our viewers about what's going on with you? Anything you've got in the works? So.
I have a seminar called As Sold on TV, Media Promotion for All. And we'll see what happens with that. I'm looking to kind of maybe do that as kind of a traveling thing.
Okay.
Hopefully. I'd love to get out of here and do that. It's a seminar that deals with doing interviews on different media platforms.
Okay.
Whether it's YouTube, whether it's TV, whether it's radio, what have you. It really came about because I was in a writer's group and some guy got frustrated. Now, I've never written a book. I've been a writer for 31 years. I've written magazine articles. I've written newspaper articles, but I never written a book. So I have an objective view when it comes to publishing. I've been to book fairs and I've done a lot of research, talking to authors and publishers. And so combine that with the 15 years that I've been interviewed on platforms like this, and shows and podcasts, and what knowledge I have of publishing. I created As Sold on TV, which is media promotion for authors.
Okay.
So it's earmarked for authors, it's not just for authors, it's for writers. So we'll see what that, now I'm looking to maybe get that, I'm looking to do it maybe at comic conventions, because I've been to some Comic Cons. I'd love to do that at Comic Cons, and not just the writers conference sort of thing. So we'll see where that goes. People are interested, they can contact me.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook and I'm on Twitter. Otherwise, my Substack newsletters, Final Cut. If you want to check that out, go to allanier.substack.com.
Okay.
That's ALLANIER.substack.com. Also, my retro review, film review newsletter, so it's retro review. You can go to thumbsdown.substack.com to check out retro review. That's thumbsdown.substack.com. So allanier.substack.com for Final Cut and thumbsdown.substack.com for retro review.
Okay.
And I also have my podcast, The Write-Off. It's also at thumbsdown.substack.com, but that is a writing podcast.
Okay.
And so actually a 25-minute version of my seminar, As Sold on TV, is episode 3 on The Write-Off.
Okay, cool.
Outside of that, if there's anything else, my official YouTube channel, Writer Albert Lanier at 3434. That's Writer Albert Lanier at 3434. And I do not too much there. I have a show called Looking Into, an older show I did about true crime. But I also do a show, let me see, I do a show called Outro, which is a show about being interviewed on shows. So I'm going to be doing an episode of Outro about this show.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
Writer Albert Lanier. So I know that's a mouthful, that's a lot, but
Yeah.
hey, part and parcel of what I gotta do. I gotta get out there and promote and market.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what we're doing too.
Yeah, we do the same thing. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I hate marketing and promotion, but
It's
Do what you
necessary.
gotta do.
Yeah.
it takes a long time to go. So I have
Yeah.
no choice. I like doing interviews. This is the easiest for me. Doing interviews like this is fun.
Yeah,
But gotta upload everything on Facebook and
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here,
Yeah,
man. We
thanks for
appreciate
being
it.
Good talking to you because it's nice to talk to like a couple.
Yeah.
This is rare for me, like to have a couple.
Yeah.
And when you guys were talking about films, I just sat back and listened because it was like, it was nice.
Yeah.
So I really had a good time. I
Great.
really enjoyed it.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
And I also encourage people to watch this channel and the past interviews. You had that lady on who was a friend of Umar'S.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't say ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't want that,
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
But ex-friend of Umar'S. And so that was a good interview.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
wish that lady well.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I'm nearly speechless. I don't know what to say about his personal and private life. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't either.
Private life. Let me
Yeah.
just put that on the record.
Yeah.
When I wrote my review, when I wrote my piece, I knew nothing about his life.
Yeah.
I only knew what I saw.
Right.
And his life is, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
He's something else.
He is something else. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Brother. Thank you.